Anybody when you try anything to support your life. Not the same person we go they try anything to take your wife. But even when you try anything good to change your life, the same person we go they stab you from back and with your knife. Them still hold me down. Yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh. Delay all of us, oh, pow. And they do go it don't take them hold me down. And my damn do. Them they do, it don't do.
I greet everybody this hour, this minute, this day. How are you doing? It's another opportunity, bright day. Let's discuss. We have a duty, all of us, to continue to monitor events. When we monitor this development, we also must make sure that we logically connect events of now with those of past, and together project the future. Anybody who fails to do that is already planning to be enslaved or to be captured by eventualities, especially the ones who did not prepare for. I have three main things I have picked to analyze today. And I would love all of us to join so that in the course of this, I may take in like 2-3 calls to also hear. Although the comments will be streaming, let the comments keep so that we can guide our discussion together. MC Oluomo yesterday, that is the person who heads the NURTW, National Union of Road Transport Workers in Lagos State. You know, over time in Lagos, there have been, at one time or the other, crises among the persons managing different parks. Most of this violence were said to be incited by persons within Oluomo, MC Oluomo's circle. The national body over time had summoned him and even called for him to come to order. But then, even recently, you'd recall that it was alleged that MC Oluomo does not invest in the transport business in Lagos as much, even at all, according to, if what this man's statement is to go by. You remember the man called Istijaba, who is from the Alagbado area, who controls, he invests into transport business, buys tricycle for a lot of riders, buys buses and all that. So he said, according to that man's testimony, his own remittance through tickets that his boys pay to NURTW in Lagos every day alone, his own remittance alone, is over 1 million naira per day. Those are stakeholders of transport business, according to him. Now, if all of these testimonies are to go by, it simply means that MC Oluomo's business in the NURTW is only to organize the union of those bus drivers, tricycle operators, motorcycle and all that. It was alleged that MC Oluomo was trying to even veer into every other sectors of the transport system. That it was not only buses. At a point, he wanted to also start being the one to be ticketing union of tricycle operators. After a while, they said they also wanted to hijack those of motorcyclists, that his boys would be ticketing everybody and generating more money, and it raised concern. I guess at a point, they decided to organize a meeting to see how they could curtail MC Oluomo and, you know, form him a boundary of stay on our lane. Let us who operate these other things also have our own union and stay on our lane. It was alleged that he wanted all of them to be under his control and more money for him. At a point, he called a meeting and where it was alleged that Isijaba went with a weapon or gun. And Isijaba also countered the claim that it's not true, that it was MC Oluomo who tried to kill him. You know, all this crisis, at the end of the day, have amounted to concerns for a lot of people like Agberos, you know, NURTW members and unionists, always causing clashes in Lagos. So there have been reports. Over time, there have also been concerns and calls that the NURTW should be scrapped. You know, people have been calling for all these things for long, especially in Lagos State, because of violent clashes. Now, it came to a climax yesterday when the national body recommended that MC Oluomo should be suspended from union activities forthwith. MC Oluomo, in reaction, said he would prefer that all the things he organized will not just go the way of under guise of national body suspending me. I would rather convert all of these structures and put under the state government, which he has been loyal to for a very long time. Now, don't forget that people have been saying for a long time that activities of unionists, especially because of the violence, attendant violence, should come to a halt, and that people like MC Oluomo, since they have garnered enough money, they don't make money now, they don't chop well, that they should rather park somewhere, use all the money they have made. Most of you have filling stations, hotels, bars, guest houses, and all that. Let violence stop, and let proper management of parks and garages and activities of transport personnel go under management of the state. That has been a call for a long time. Finally, MC Oluomo has now called that the state government should take over the parks and garages. You see policemen over the parks now. Should the state government also succeed the NURTW from the national? And what does it portend for other associations, other sectors in the country and in the state? And what do we think the other states bodies of NURTW will be copying from this? What does this whole thing portend? And so Oluomo would become Oba of Oshodi, according to if it is rumor or genuine information, because there's no Oba in Oshodi. So MC Oluomo is being asked, or is being projected or pictured to be the Oba of Lagos for the first, or of Oshodi for the first time. Let us come to politics. 2023 is near. There are feelers that Abuja was also trying to send to try to also clip the wing of the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who wants to become president in 2023. That all the structures he has and he uses to either intimidate people during election or to mobilize, you know, NURTW members, that they are trying to also clip that wing. You know, politics can go into student union. NANS is politicized. Nigerian Bar Association, for a while, politicized. National Labour Congress, politicized. Even CDAs, Landlord Association, politicized. Union of Teachers, politicized. ASU, at the time, said politicized. NURTW, politicized. So most of these structures, they are stakeholders in politics. So it is said that they are trying to look at all of these things, they are so-called structures, to begin to tame them ahead of 2023. Now, we are just analyzing here. If MC Oluomo is removed from NURTW and replaced with another person that may not tilt completely towards the bidding of the ruling party in Lagos State, it may be to the disadvantage of Tinubu in 2023 and the next governor of Lagos State, because NURTW is actually very powerful when it comes to Lagos politics, and we should not shy away from that fact. Therefore, NURTW, Lagos State's NURTW pulling out of its national body is politically instructive. But what does it portend? I am not the one to answer that question. It is open for open analysis. I'm just here to just reel out, to connect the dots and allow everybody else take their decision what they feel about it. The next information here, this is from the airspace management. Now, the aviation sector is facing challenges. You know that since the past 2 to 3 weeks, fuel crisis has threatened almost all parts of the economy. Now, transport is at the largest or the biggest receiving end. The transport sector. Crisis of fuel has crippled a lot of businesses or has increased costs of production and even prices of goods and services as outputs of this production, process of production. Fuel prices, has also gone astronomically high. People buying black markets to even move from. The crisis is so much that if you want to go from one point to another, you buy black market to get there. You have to buy black market to come back. Like you want to go and buy fuel now, you are looking for fuel. You drove almost 2 kilometers before you find a filling station. No, it is said to be a fueling station. Fueling, fueling. Learn oral presentation. Learn English properly. You get? It's fueling station. Aha. So before you get to fueling station, you may have driven up to 2 kilometers. And by when you get to these 2 kilometers, you have even exhausted the remaining fuel in your tank. So you end up buying at exorbitant price, 200.
Don't take them hold us down. They do, we don't do. All the people where they make life terribly tough and hard for us. Yeah. Now the same politician where they come try sell hope to us. Yeah. Anybody will promise you anything to change your life. Now the same person will go they give you money and take your life. Them still hold me down. Yes, oh. Delay all of us, oh. And they do, it don't take them hold me down. And my damn duro. Them they do, it don't do, it don't take them hold us down. And my dawa duro. Them they do, it don't do, generation.
Make I tell you something when I know.
Tell us.
If you go listen, I'll tell you go blow.
Yes, sir.
They done the play your sense, now you know. Them go tell you lies, make you shine your eyes. Make I tell you something when you know. If you could listen, I say you could blow.
Yes, sir.
They done the play your sense, now you know. They done they tell us lies, make you shine your eyes.
Them still hold me down. Yes, so delay all of us. It don't take them hold me down. Them a damn me duro. Them they do, it don't do. Go joro. It don't take them hold us down. Them a dawa joro. Them they do, it don't do. Go joro. Them they do, it don't do. Go joro. It don't take them hold us down. Them they do, it don't do. Go joro.
I, stranger on the mix.
Alright, sorry about that, and you're welcome back. That's one of the challenges you face when you are using battery and all that. The battery of my lapel went off. Just a moment, let me mute this from my headphones so that there won't be echo. And we will continue. That's the way we are managing in this country, Shebi, you know. Okay, so I continue. Where did I stop? I was talking about, can you hear me now? Okay, audio stopped when I was talking about ridiculous fuel price. Okay, now audio is back, right? How many of you are still there? Don't run away because of audio. Don't let them use their theatrics on us, you know. Okay, good. Thank you so much for confirming. Okay, you're still here. God bless you. Yeah, let's continue. Now, let's manage. May not be the quality we started with, but let's manage it. So, the aviation price of tickets, good. The prices for traveling in the air skyrocketed. So aviation passengers also lamented. Now look at the latest. They say we may shut down Nigeria airspace because according to them, they do not get this fuel anymore upon paying. They have to order ahead, like you pay ahead, you front buy. Like if I want to buy, you place order, and then you go and pick up a confirmation that your order has been received and your money has been taken. And it is not at the usual price anymore. This is not about Russia-Ukraine war. There has been the report about importation of black market into the country ever before Ukraine-Russia issue started. Ours is a unique problem. Now the question I've always asked since then is, who has been brought to book since this issue started? Who is in charge of quality control for petroleum in the NNPC? Who is the minister of, why are we not talking about these things? Who is the minister of petroleum? Who is in charge of NNPC quality control? Why are eggs not rolling? You see? I don't know how many of you saw the picture or video accompanying it of a train between Ibadan and Lagos states that got stuck midways because it ran out of fuel. They had to go and look for fuel to buy. Imagine how dangerous, what danger, what risk that was. If transportation is grounded as a result of lack or scarcity of fuel in the country, the economy is also grounded. The country, the nation is grounded. Do not forget, it was for this same commodity, fuel, that there was Occupy Nigeria uprising in 2012. Occupy Nigeria uprising June, no, it was January 2012. It's another crisis for June. I was almost mixing them up. So now look at the latest. We may shut down Nigeria's airspace. If you look at the information following it, let me read out. AON laments aviation fuel scarcity, rejects marketers blackmail. And the next one says Jet A1 climbs to 700 naira per liter, resulting in corresponding increase in airfares and shutting down. You know, when you are clipping capacity or ability of people to use their earnings, so inflation that is occasion that arises as a result of all these things is affecting everything. And now when these people shut down, shebi all of us go, they follow train, they go, and when the train also they stop midway just between Lagos and Ibadan, we all of us go know where we did. But I leave that and I go on to talk about Redeemed Christian Church of God. Let us take our time. I know this is what most of you have been waiting for. Let's take our time together. It's a very short, it's just 2 paragraphs I'm reading here on this memo at the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Just stay close to this. Let's read it together. Office of Directorate of Politics and Governance. Now, so we write to formally notify you that the mission authority has created the Office of Directorate of Policies and Governance in where the RCCG. Further to this, Pastor Timothy Olaniyan of Lagos Province 12 has been appointed to lead the office. You are kindly required to, let me summarize. This is, Osinbajo is afraid of declaring. People are declaring their intent to run. Osinbajo is afraid because of his master. Now that is the feeler in the air. Meanwhile, it has always been the dream of Pastor A. Adeboye that the president of Nigeria should come from Redeemed Christian Church of God. What can we link this memo to? That if there is no structure for Osinbajo to use, they want to use the structure of the crowd membership of Redeemed Christian Church of God to mobilize for him, which is not a crime. It is not a crime to mobilize people who have over time been apathetic or not political, or will say, oh no, we are Christians, we should not go into politics and all that. And suddenly the pastor just says, no, we are creating a directorate. Everybody, yeah, come out, start contesting. Everybody, come out. Everybody come out. Let loose. Open all your fangs. We have the number. Oh yeah, everybody go and collect your PVC. Osinbajo has been in the game, studying, understanding for a while, noting that it is about all the boys. There was a time Tinubu told somebody, when the person got to, I think it was the time he made that famous, whichever we preferred, people have different opinions or adjectives for it. When he made that statement that Lagos wants to rest, the person who went to see him encountered layers of boys. You know what we mean by boys, before he was able to get in to see Tinubu. He then commented to Tinubu, why you are you are too big to be keeping this kind of tout around you. Tinubu allegedly or reportedly told him, àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ ní tout ẹ̀yin alákọ̀wé ẹni tẹ́yìn àwọn tẹ́yìn ń pè ní tout yẹn àtàǹpàkò wọn dájú ti yín lọ. Meaning that they are the ones who vote. So when they say structure, what they mean is that the people they keep around to continue to be in the system, to to perpetuate them in power. In other words, it means in democracy, it is about people, the number. Tinubu has the number as far as the party he put together is concerned. And as far as his antecedent is concerned, empowering people, even though most of them now are turning against him, that no, you used us. It's not that you really empowered us for autistic reason. You didn't just empower us for patriotic reason. You empowered us to use us, even though that is now what they're saying to themselves. But the point is, he is confident that he still has enough to make him president. So if Osinbajo is to contest against him now, it will mean that Osinbajo too must work on his numbers. So if he can't get that number from the church, from the political circle, at least he would be able to look into the church. Then influence everybody. Come on, wake up, get your PVC. Let's do it. We have the number. And this letter. Yeah, the letter. So the church cannot remove itself from politics. The church cannot remove itself from politics. It is just that we hope that hypocrisy will not be the end of it will not be what ends it all at the end of the day. Because whether you are Christian or Muslim has not really defined leadership for us in this country. It hasn't enriched quality of leadership for us in this country that you are either Christian or Muslim. It's just all about controlling power. That's all. We just want to be in charge of power so that it's our turn. We have the number. Politics is the reason people are still poor and being manipulated, because they want to use them to secure the numbers that they need. By the way, it is said that if care is not taken and Southwest doesn't get its act in order, how many governors are rooting for Tinubu? How many are opposing him? So this crisis is affecting even the whole APC itself. If they say Osinbajo should go, or Osinbajo wants to pick courage to try, and it is resulting in crisis that the influences around Tinubu is intimidating Osinbajo. APC is saying they may look to southeast. Yes, we agree we want to zone to south. But which of the southern parts? Southwest? South? If southwest is not, then why don't we then start looking at, making the southeast now finally feel part of this country by also allowing them? The question for the day is if We then shift to southeast. Gentlemen and ladies, they are thinking Emefiele or Amechi. Or, if you aren't aware, I just told you. They are contemplating Emefiele or Amechi. Peter Obi is in the PDP. Emefiele or Amechi, if it comes to this, who would you vote? If it is between Emechi, if it comes to between Emefiele and Amechi, who would you support? I'll come to Yoruba Nation, and we'll consider the other options we have. I want to open the line, maybe 2 or 3 calls. I want to hear what people think. We have discussed Lagos NURTW crisis and 2023 in relation. We have discussed Osinbajo and the RCCG mobilizing for him. They want more members of the church to contest and form their structures in their respective local government areas. What do you think 2023 would look like? Church and thugs, on this at the ballots, it's becoming interesting. In case you don't know, church youths and the regular ones and the rest of us, it will be very interesting. Then, if southeast is where all our attention will go in 2023, between Emefiele and Amechi, who would you prefer? I'll be right back.
Meet Mr. Abiodun Akinyemi, a man who is looking to solve the big chunk of the housing crisis that we have in Nigeria by making affordable, self-sufficient homes. This kind of homes are becoming more and more popular, by the way, because they are efficient and they are environmentally friendly, and then it costs less to make them if you think about it in the long run. Anyway, before I tell you about the smart homes that he's building, let me tell you a little bit about his story. He's based in Canada right now, and he decided to build a house in Lagos, Nigeria, where he's from. But upon making inquiries, the cost of building a house has increased significantly since he moved to Canada. So instead of using concrete brick throughout his construction, he substituted it with laterite, and he was able to save 30% of the construction cost. Laterite has a lot of advantages, by the way, including warming your home during the cold weather, cooling your home in the hot season. It's cheaper because it's readily available. It's everywhere in Nigeria. It has high clay content, which means it can hold more water. Laterite gives you better air quality. So if you build your house with laterite, you can breathe in better air quality. You can even recycle it. So if you build a house with laterite and you don't like it, you can break down the house and use the brick to build another house. And that's just to name a few of the advantages. But he didn't stop at building his personal house. He decided to make his house self-sufficient, off-grid, which means that he's not going to be dependent on the electricity from the Nigerian government. So he's using solar power, and he's also not going to be using power generator, so there will be no noise, no air pollution. At the same time, he's not using the regular sockaway that everybody uses in Nigeria. He's disposing his own waste material by decomposing it, and he's generating his own water. So once the house is completed, he doesn't need anything from them. And this is why they call this home self-sufficient, off-grid homes. That alone inspires me. The fact that he was able to find an alternative to just spending so much money on building a house, and the fact that he doesn't have to depend on the government. He made himself a self-sufficient house. That is the inspiration for me. But then he took it a step further. So after learning from his own experience, he wants to do the same for others, except that he wants to do it better. What he has decided to do is to now mass produce this kind of house for other people. In case anybody out there is interested in having a house that will be self-sufficient, he has bought acres of land in Lakwe beachfront in order to construct an off-grid estate. And what you guys are seeing is what he would be constructing. All these houses would not be using NEPA, and they will be constructed with laterite bricks. If you're interested, please check him out. This is his website.
Yes, that's the website, www.habehomes.com. Habe Homes is spelled Habbey, homes.com. Sorry that call. I wanted the video to finish playing before I took a call. So you can try now, please. You can add +234 08170747424. I saw a comment asking about Yoruba Nation. My understanding is that fighting for a new nation to come out of an existing nation can come either by two ways. One is peaceful, the other will not be. And no matter how peaceful it is, there will definitely be some drawbacks. But you know what? The peaceful one will have to do with referendum. But before you can even ask for referendum from this kind of people we have ruling the country, you must first have participated well enough to matter so much in the politics of the country or state before your words can actually matter or carry weight to see. And I am happy. Even demanding for self-rule is on its own political. You're playing politics, yeah, good. But you know what? If referendum will be, the process will be long, wherein all documentation, consultation, agreements, ideas, conclusion is the last. Before the conclusion will be arrived at, there will be events. There will be events. If referendum or peaceful talk or discussion or agreement will not be possible, and you want it at all costs, then the second way to come is by forcing it. Then you must fight. Fighting means it may result in war. Those of us who did not grow up to meet war, we read about it and we read about the relics of war. We saw clear pictorial evidences of the relics and wreckages, the wrecks of war. Not a bad idea. And it will mean that most of the developments or progresses you achieved before will be eroded, and you may have to start everything all over again. The rest of the world would have left you behind. But it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong in having your freedom, even if it means you are free with nothing. Which of these will happen immediately now? So when we are projecting or asking for something that will happen a long while after, so Yoruba Nation to me sounds like a long-term project. I'm not against it, but what I'm saying, my own position is, while you're projecting for that or working for that, you don't keep your eyes or minds shut off the immediate, which is that we must still, the short-term thing, still be participating and decide, helping to decide the direction this current one we are still in should be. For instance, we still carry Nigerian passport. We still enter BRT. So should I now say whatever is happening to transportation business in Lagos, or whatever transportation means is happening, or kidnapping or happening in Lagos, is not my business? I am of Yoruba Nation stock. I don't belong here. But you are still here. So it's a long-term vision, and we should not stop working for that if that is what we want. But it does not mean we should not participate in the present, because what is happening to the present, to us in the present, will determine whether we will even last to see that long-term movement or project we are working on. So Yoruba Nation, Biafra, fine, but it will not be now. It will not be now. But what is still available in the now, we can use it. We can even instrument it. We can use 2023 to make a statement about where we want to be. Like, for instance, Biafra and Oduduwa agitators coming together, for instance, to say, okay, 2023 election, we don't want it to be business as usual. let us put somebody there who we know will definitely change the constitution of Nigeria, that's making it impossible for us to get what we want. Politics. Come together, say, yeah, let us throw our weight behind, mobilize for this candidate who understands that the country's present constitution is a fraud, and will definitely make sure we get a brand new constitution that allows for referendum. Game. All of these things are games, politics. So when you say Yoruba Nation, now, I've been hearing it since last year. The now was last year. Now is still, we are still saying it this year. We will still say it next year. We will still say it after election. So the now means we want it. That is my own interpretation of now, meaning we want it. But the fact is, reality on ground is that there will still be election, and we are still affected by policies made by these people at present. Time is gone. I'm sorry, I can't take call again. So we must dwell in the present, living by its realities, while we continue to work for the later. So Yoruba Nation now, you're right, my right. Biafra now, my right, you're right. Self-determination now, my right, you're right. All of our determinations now, but we all still carry Nigerian passports. And we can still influence the way and manner things happen in the country. We still carry its passport, we still spend its currency. That we are still under its manipulation. That is the little I can say about Yoruba Nation for now. I'm sorry I can't take call now. The show is ended. We'll do it another time. So I end by giving you Ojoro by Larry Safari. I'll see you again. Bye for now.
Yeah. On the dog.
This generation, yes, who don't yeah.
Anybody when you try anything to support your life, not the same person way go they try anything to take your wife. But even when you try anything good to change your life, the same person way go they stab you from back and with your knife. Them still hold me down. Yes, delay all of us. And they do Ojoro. Don't they then hold me down? And madam me do. Then they do. He don't do. Ojoro. He don't they then hold us down? And madam do. Then they do. He don't do. Ojoro. All the people where they make life terribly tough and hard for us. Yeah. Now the same politician where they come try sell hope to us. Yeah. Anybody will promise you anything to change your life. Now the same person will go they give you money.